These are a nice set of problems. The theorem is wrong here. It's actually 3.3.1 on page 279. So you're asked to find the equilibrium vector. So you actually have a p star here, just like before, except now it's a vector. And before you used to have d divided by 1 minus a. We don't have division with matrices, but if you look at d divided by 1 minus a in the constant form, 1 minus a is really the reciprocal of 1 over 1 minus a. And this is the matrix version of 1 minus a. It's the identity matrix minus a to the negative 1 power. It's kind of like a reciprocal. Now, if a is not invertible, it doesn't exist. So you have to be, it's not always trivial here. You can have some complicated things. But you multiply that by the d vector. Well, our d vector in this case is 0, 0. I didn't have anything added here. This is the screenshot of what we did before. And anytime I have a matrix times the 0 vector, I get the 0 vector back. So one of the things that makes my skin crawl is when someone puts p star in a vector form is equal to just 0. I always have it as a very clear, it's a vector, it's not a number. P star here is a 2 by 1 vector. So don't make my skin crawl. My red pen starts to come out in retaliation. So don't make cosmetic errors. So let's keep going on this one. The problems change. They now have that your unit's going to purchase 6 new servers. This was our old model. Now I'm going to have 6 new servers per week, so I have something added. But I have to account here that the D has nothing added. So again, I'm keeping good practices up here. I'm making sure that everything's lined up. I'm totally willing, even if you're not my section, to sit down and race me. I guarantee you, at the end of the day, I'm going to finish first and I'm going to have it right. So skipping steps is not something you want to do. I'm a minimalist. Oh, I forgot to put my vector here. So let me add that in. Put that in. See, it's hard to write all these out all the time. The matrix, I'm going to put a 2 by 1. And then we're going to put here, it should be W sub n minus 1. And here it's going to be R sub n minus 1. And then I'm going to make that huge and pull it over here. So that's what goes here in vector form next to it. So that's missing. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So I should multiply by that, just like I had before. And then let's put that over here too. So, and that should, let me see if I can move this stuff over here to the right. Yes, I can. All right, there we go. Now it looks all clean. So now the formula for the inverse is, or for the P star is this formula. Now my D is not 6, 0. It's actually, I mean, it's not 0, 0, it's 6, 0. So how's that going to change things up? Well, I'm going to show you how I got this answer. And for my section, what I want you to do is to recreate this on Mathematica yourself. So what you're going to do is if you go to our team and go to Files, you're going to see this Mathematica crib sheets. Click that, and there's a Mathematica crib sheet of how to find the equilibrium vector. And this is an example with no free variables, so that's coming. I'm going to download that. And down here I have this crib sheet. So everything's set up for you. You're going to enter it, like I have the directions of step by step what you're going to do. And I made this sheet so that it's scalable. So it's going to look a little, you probably go, oh, I could do that in an easier way. Yes, you can, but it's going to be something that we are going to need later. So I'm going to snip out my A matrix so that I have it available. Copy. I'm going to dump it right into here. If you are not in my section and you want this, all you have to do is email me at diana.thomas@westpoint.edu and I'll send it to you. But I'd like to know who you are. 0.90, I'm just going to change it. That's what's nice about these crib sheets. What's not nice is you can't take the crib sheet onto you actually have to recreate it from scratch. But that's not that hard. So I enter the matrix, Shift Enter. There it is. Now I'm going to enter my D vector, which I remember was 6, 0. But if you don't remember, like bouncing back between two screens is tough. So I'm just going to change that to 6, 0 here, Shift Enter. And next step is to find the identity matrix. I do it in steps so that I can, if I make a mistake, I can see it. Sometimes I'm lazy and I put it all in one step, but I'm not going to do that. Identity matrix 2 is a 2 by 2, ones down the diagonal and zeros on the off diagonal. So if I hit Shift Enter, I get this guy right here. I don't really care what that is. I'm going to do an augmented matrix row reduction, and you think, well, all I have to do is actually dot product that inverse, but I'm going to do it this way because later on we're going to need to do it this way. So this is what's scalable. So I'm going to tell it to row reduce. I'm going to call this matrix here something. Let's call it B equals actually I think I just enter everything in, so let's do it that way. We can display as matrix and then we can go in here, we'll put in 0.1 negative 0.55. I'm just changing it to my numbers, 0.55, and then over here I'm going to put minus 0.1, and over here I'm going to put 1, and here I'm going to put the D vector, which is 6, 0, and then I'm going to hit Shift Enter, and then I'm going to display that as a matrix, and I get that the first component of P star is 133.33, and the second component is 13.33. And then the next step is to scratch out that equation. So let's do that. And then I'm going to go back over here to WebAssigns, the PowerPoint, and that's where I got this from. Notice I got the first component is 133.33 and the second component is 13.33. There's a simpler way to do this in this case, which I did in my own spreadsheet, on my own mathematical worksheet, but it's not scalable. So you're going to have to learn this way eventually. And so rather than learn two different things, one that works sometimes and one that doesn't work all the time, let's do the one that works all the time always, because we have shortened classes and it's not that easy to do things in steps. So for my section, you're going to upload your Mathematica notebook after you do this to Class Notebook. So again, the same thing as before, you're going to go to Class Notebook. Notice here there's a Lesson 28 video Mathematica assignment. And so you're going to do the same thing here. You're going to go My Mathematica assignment. And Bill's got everything done for him already except the actual inserting. You're going to save your Mathematica file and you're going to insert that as an attachment. If you're not in my section, you don't have to do this.